What is going on, guys? It is Lakers all day. You know how we do it in here. It's all about the Lakers. And they won an overtime game against the Charlotte Hornets by 3 points. It was a very back and forth game. And I know what people are going to say. Well, you guys only beat the Hornets by 3. You guys should have won by more. I don't care because a win is a win, and this was a much needed win. And I think that's where the important thing should be brought up is that yes, every win counts because when you look at the standings, you want a win, and I don't care how ugly it was. I don't care if they choked another mini lead and it went to overtime. Yes, those are bad habits in terms of letting the lead go away, but they're going to get over that eventually. But overall, it was a much-needed win, and I'm going to go ahead and dive into some of the players that, stuck out to me, and we'll go from there, okay? The first player I wanted to bring up was Anthony Davis. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 blocks, 3 steals. I mean, literally, he is dominant when he chooses to be. When he chooses to be physical, when he chooses to be aggressive, he could be the best player in the league. I mean, when he was with New Orleans, right? He was capable of getting those 50-20 games, and we've seen it before. So this doesn't surprise me, but I love seeing him play physical. I love seeing him play angry when it matters, right? Although it was a very questionable decision to shoot a contested 3 when you were tied to win the game. That was a little questionable, even though you did make a game winner against Denver in the 2020 playoffs. But overall, I thought AD played a fantastic game. I mean, 32, 12, and 5. I mean, that's a really good game if you ask me. I don't know how much more you want from AD necessarily. I mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. I mean, this is a guy constantly playing with some kind of injury. I mean, it was the thumb injury, then he threw up with a stomach illness, and here he comes against the Hornets. Yes, they kind of lack big men with only Cody Zeller, really, but 32, 12, and 5 blocks. I mean, he just took care of business. He needed to do what he had to do. He shot really well, too, 13 of 25. So great job by Anthony Davis. Another player I wanted to talk about was Carmelo Anthony, the 6th man of the year so far. Yes, honestly, he might be the MVP of our team so far. I love it how I could say that, and he's coming off the bench. 29 points, 9 of 13 from the field, 7 of 10 from the 3. I mean, honestly, where would the Lakers be if it wasn't for Carmelo Anthony? I'm looking at Melo, and honestly, when we first signed him, I was really excited. I'm like, okay, he can average 13 points, right? Do what Kuzma couldn't do, but he's doing so much more than what I expected. For him to be shooting lights out, for him to be averaging 16 plus a game, I mean, he is really exceeding expectations. And honestly, he's straight up looking like Denver Carmelo Anthony. I mean, for those who haven't watched him, go watch the film because he was a beast with Denver. And, we're getting a little bit of that when he's playing with us for the Lakers. But overall, I mean, honestly, when we need a bucket, when we need to go on a run, I'm really you can give the ball to Carmelo Anthony, and he can give you that bucket to start a run, to light up a spark. You know what I mean? Carmelo Anthony's that kind of guy, and for us to have him on our team, despite our struggles, despite our defensive woes, to have someone like Carmelo is going to prove to be very important down the line, especially in the regular season, right? When we're going to be tired a lot of these games, when we might come out a little bit sluggish, you're going to have someone like Melo that can come out and knock down a few threes, and guess what? You're back in the game because that's how the NBA is played now. No lead is safe. We've been seeing so many comebacks today, or just in the league overall in the past few seasons especially, and to have someone that can light up at any moment, I mean, that's just great to have. Carmelo Anthony, you need to learn how to defend him because it was all about LeBron, Westbrook, AD. Well, now you have to worry about Melo. I mean, this is not just regular Portland Melo. This is probably the best Melo we've seen since New York. Straight up. I mean, he's playing at such an elite level right now. 29 points off the bench. I mean, he probably could have gotten at least 30 to 35 had he been a starter. But I mean, look at this Melo, man. It's great. But I do want to talk about Russell Westbrook because although he did have a triple-double, he nearly choked us the game. We're up 8 in the fourth quarter. It looks like we're going to win the game. And Russell Westbrook turned the ball over 3 to 4 times straight up. He almost did choke us the game, because had we lost in overtime, this title would have been Westbrook choked. But, it's not going to be because we didn't lose. But just moving forward for Westbrook, I understand, and I've said this multiple times, it's going to take time for him to fit with this team, with this system. And he's even said it before, listen, it's going to take time to fit. Fit does not happen overnight. It happens over the season. I brought up the example of LeBron's Heat and LeBron's Cavs so many times. Those teams did not mesh at first, but they got their act together eventually. And eventually, Westbrook and the Lakers will get their act together. So better now to make those mistakes than down the line in the postseason or whatever the case is. But yes, you cannot get 7 turnovers, especially with 4 of them being in the fourth quarter at least. That's just not a good thing for the team. The chances are you're going to lose the game. And that's why we see so many blown leads. It starts with the turnovers, right? It's just easy baskets for the opposition. So it's you need to limit those, Westbrook. You nearly choked us the game. I'll give you a pass just because we won, but it was still a very, very close game. And then one more player I wanted to talk about, Kent Bazemore. Honestly, I don't know what he's doing out there. I've mentioned it before. I don't like Kent Bazemore that much. Sometimes he might have a good stat line, but even then it doesn't feel like his effect is much in terms of having a positive impact. I really don't know what Kent Bazemore's doing out there. Watching the game, he didn't really do anything, and you could look at the stats, he didn't do anything. 14 minutes played, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. 2 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 block. Oh, a 4. He just did not do anything. So I don't like Kent Bazemore that much, and you saw Frank Vogel kind of limited his minutes more than he usually did, which is a good thing. But going to Frank Vogel, I actually wanted to bring up this one thing. I think eventually we need to start playing AD more consistently at the center position. I love Dwight. I love DeAndre Jordan. Sort of. But AD and the Lakers, they play so much better when he's a center. You could look at the game, you could look at the stats. As soon as AD is put in that center position, we go on a run. Offensively, defensively, we're just better. We're faster, we play small ball, we shoot better. There's just better spacing. It's not rocket science. You can easily tell that AD plays better at center. But yeah, overall, it was a good game. It was an entertaining game, to say the least. And Charlotte is a solid team. This is a team that is very well capable of being a playoff team in the Eastern Conference. They have an up-and-coming star in LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges. They got a solid squad over there. Terry Rozier as well. I think he dropped 29 or something. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good game. Yes, we only won by 3. And we might be just 6-5, but can I just remind you guys that the Bucks are 4-6? The defending champs are 4-6. I hope that puts it into perspective a little bit, because of the fact that, a lot of people are panicking about our regular season record right now. People are panicking about our start. People are making fun of us, but people fail to forget that, at the beginning of the regular season, yes, the games matter, but it's not the end of the world if you start off poorly, Like I said, the Bucks are 4-6, and I could probably name a couple of other teams that are not starting off too hot, like the Suns. But I'm just saying, good win for the Lakers. It's always good to win. I think that will always increase team morale, chemistry, and whatnot moving forward. But that's all I have for this one. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like. Comment down below what you guys thought about the Lakers narrowly defeating the Charlotte Hornets, and subscribe for more, guys. All right, guys, peace out, and take it easy.